Hi, Andrew Bell here, and it's great to be with you again as we sign off on the first quarter of 2015. Today, I've got a real treat for you. We're coming from 107 Albatross Avenue, Mermaid Beach. You know, Australians have always had an intricate connection to the beachfront. As kids, we've all wanted to go to the beach for our school holidays, or we've wanted to have a beachside holiday. Well, there's only a few thousand Australians right around the country who get the privilege of living that lifestyle all year round. And this home here in Albatross Avenue, right on the beachfront, would have to be one of the best choices of lifestyle homes anywhere in Australia. Let's have a good look at it as I now present our fortnightly report. I think everybody knows by now just how strong the real estate market has been over the past year or so. This last week, the Reserve Bank has been very vocal about concerns of a real estate bubble. However, we should note that they've confirmed previously that the concern is largely about Sydney and not the rest of Australia. Most of the remaining markets of Australia are in good shape, although there are some concerns about Brisbane, which is on fire at present. The activity in our other major capital cities is why the Gold Coast has now come alive again. There's a report out last week saying that you can buy 2 apartments in Adelaide for the price of 1 in Sydney. You can just see how ludicrous real estate prices are becoming in our big capital cities. The Gold Coast is the 6th largest city and they're offering incredible value by comparison. And as a result, there's a significant number of people now switching their buying preference to the Gold Coast, understandably. This week, we continue with the examination of just one of our 5 fundamentals that are driving the real estate market at present. In this e-newsletter, we're focusing on population growth. This is not something that we think about on a daily basis, as opposed to, say, drivers like interest rates or unemployment. But population growth is the most significant fundamental driver of the real estate market. Everybody needs a roof over their head, so they either have to buy a home themselves or they have to rent it from somebody else who has bought an investment property for them. Currently, Australia's population is 23,600,000. Last year, our population grew by 365,000, which was down on previous years, but that was necessary to take a bit of pressure off due to our rising unemployment. 60% of our population comes from overseas migrants, where, for example, last year, that accounted for approximately 213,000 people. A report out recently actually highlighted the fact there was 1 person born every 1 minute 45 seconds, while sadly, someone passes away every 3.5 minutes. Whilst our net gain from overseas migrants is 1 person every 2 minutes. The graph on screen now shows the quarterly change in national population, and you can see that despite being lower in recent times than our peak, we're still showing very high population growth over, say, the last 20 years. Australia grew by the equivalent of Sydney's population since the early 1990s. Now that's substantial. It took 224 years to get to the 2012 population level, yet it's predicted to double, I repeat double, in just the next 58 years. Capital cities and a select few major regional centres, such as the Gold Coast, attract most of the population growth. And that's largely because that is where employment opportunities are, and that's what drives migrants to Australia. However, all age brackets except retiring baby boomers are declining in population size, which is why we need immigration, because without it, there simply won't be enough natural population growth to replace the retiring baby boomers. We need a net migration of 130,000 people per annum just to offset those retiring baby boomers. Another reality is that housing construction is one of the most important drivers of our economy. Without population growth, and especially growth through immigration, this industry would slow substantially. There's nearly 1.1 million jobs tied to the housing construction alone in Australia, and so it's important for Australia's prosperity to maintain strong population growth. There's no greater example at present than Sydney, where the bulk of our new migrants are taking up residence. And you can see how housing construction for this population growth in Sydney is fueling the Sydney economy. We're always going to rely on immigration unless we encourage a much higher birth rate. But that'll take 20 plus years before the babies of today enter our workforce. But with a huge increase in retiree baby boomers, we need more people paying taxes today. We're already seeing a start of this problem now, with there being insufficient revenue in our federal budget to pay for all the expenses that we Australians have demanded from our federal governments. We always knew the problem was coming, but it's right on our doorstep now. So expect to see an increase in population growth as we see unemployment fall, and this will feed through to even stronger housing demand. And yes, in the major cities of Australia, not out in the regional areas. Well, I hope you enjoyed viewing 107 Albatross Avenue as we've been talking. I think this is an amazing opportunity. I think everyone knows that the beachfront properties went through a price adjustment during the GFC, but today it's offering the best value that we've seen in the last 20 years. Incredible opportunities. What I think people often forget is life is about lifestyle. It's not about the value of bricks and mortars. And here at this home in Albatross Avenue, it is a unique opportunity to have a wonderful lifestyle that most people dream of. You'll never fully appreciate this property without coming here and inspecting yourself. So get in contact with Matt Gaich, whose details are on screen, and he won't be too delighted to show you through the property. Move quickly because this property is going to auction. It must be sold on the 18th of April 2015. We'll look forward to being back with you in a fortnight's time with yet another edition of our annual property report. See you in a fortnight.